Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and today we're going to be doing a Diecast Emporium video. So a few of you, after seeing my most recent post, wanted to see a full Matchbox INC collection update video. So that's what this is going to be. This is going to be typically a little bit longer than my normal videos, so make sure you got your favorite beverage and are comfy in your nice favorite recliner. So for those of you not familiar, the INC construction decos or logos or paint scheme has been going on by Matchbox for well over 10 years now. They release one or new castings every single year, or at least they have since then. And just within the past week or so, they've released their newest one, and first for 2018. It's called the MB Excavator, and it looks remarkably like a Great All excavator. That's clearly where they took inspiration from it, whichever you want to call it. So there it is. See if we can zoom in a little bit on it. Apologize about that. If I sound terrible, it's because I feel terrible, but we're going to work right through it. Not even going to pay any attention to it whatsoever. Just going to keep going. So there it is. It's a pretty nice looking truck again, heavily based off a wheeled excavator in Great All. It moves 360 degrees, just like this. However, the bucket, the extension of the bucket is not functional. It just goes up and down, and also the bucket doesn't curl in, nor does it curl out. But that's the first of it. And that gives us an opportunity to look at what the package art looks for it. Here's one brand new in the box. There's the model. And there is the... Oh, that's a terrible job of showing it to you. And there is the card art. So, pretty nice looking. Alright. So the only one of these that I don't have a sample of it out of the package as well is this one right here. And that's because this was a female dog times 10 to find, let alone try and find two of them. So I just settled on finding one and decided to keep it in the box. But it was part of Matchbox Real Working Rigs, based off a standard track excavator. These now online can go for some ridiculous prices if you go on eBay and stuff, and I'm just not willing to pay that kind of money for a Matchbox toy. But anyway. Alright, so the rest of these samples we do have out of the box, so let's continue. Of all of these, there's only a couple that are actually licensed castings. The rest are fantasy models, clearly based on real machines. Here's one of the licensed models. It's a Daft XP 95 Space Cab. There she is, based on a European style tractor. It will fit into most of your trailers that you have in Matchbox. However, it would have been so much nicer for one of the two licensed castings in this series to have actually been an American truck. But we don't cry over spilled milk here on Diecast Emporium, so there it is. Get that off screen here. Alright, next up is the tractor plow, which I believe is, they call it the Plowverizer now. Steel or die-cast plow, plastic cab, metal base. The pusher blade on this is actually quite robust. You know, just when you think you have an absolutely even surface and you've taken extra measures to make sure that models don't go flying, then you have Matchbox with plastic tires and it screws up your entire existence for the day. But that's okay. So anyway, there it is. This is one of those rare runs that people to this day debate about because it just says tractor plow on the side of it. It does not say INC construction. However, it is in the INC livery and colors. So I like to put it with the collection Others say it isn't, but I mean, how can you not say that's not part of it with those colors? I mean, everything down to the wheels is matched. Alright, so let's get a couple more boring ones out of the way. This one came out in 2014. This is the Dirt Smasher, which is kind of sort of, if you're drunk and you look at a few reference photos 7 times backwards, based off of a front loader with a logging grapple on it. The grapple closes and opens. It does not lift or any of that, nor does the pusher blade at the rear go down. What you see in yellow is plastic. What you see in blue is die-cast metal. Oh, not bad for a dollar toy. Okay, next up we have the other of the 2 Matchbox real working rigs that were part of the INC collection. This is just called the Matchbox Bulldozer. What's really cool about this is that it actually has rubber tracks that do move on a rough surface. They don't, unlike most Matchbox and Hot Wheels tracked vehicles where they have the simulated tracks but then little wheels underneath for it to roll on those. This one actually has rubber tracks, and you can actually see the drive sprocket moving a little bit right there. Ripper goes up slightly, extends outward, comes in. Blade goes up quite a reasonable distance, and just below grade for your cut depth. Now the real working rigs, MSRP when they came out, I think were like either $4.99 or $5.99, somewhere in there. So still not bad, but trying to get an excavator just to open one, since I already have one in the package, I'm not paying like $25, $30, $35 what they can go for. It's just insane. Next up we have the Matchbox Tractor. Here it is right here. This one does have a hitch on it, so you can hook up your favorite farming implement to it if you want to. Blue is metal, yellow is plastic. Base on this is plastic as well. I don't do Matchbox and Hot Wheels as much as I did as a kid. I would collect like every series. Matchbox, I think back then, did like 120 vehicles a year. I'm not sure if they still do that many. Hot Wheels did, after you got done with Variations and Kmart Day and mail-ins, they did close to, I don't know, conservatively 500 models a year. So it just got to be too much. So I only collect a select few. This one is based on an off-highway mining truck. However, it's a 6-wheeler. And this was only, to this point in the filming of this video, the only way you could get this one was if you bought a Matchbox 5-pack. That's the only place it came in. Also has a trailer hitch. Gray base, which is plastic. Blue is metal. Dump bed is yellow, which does work. Actually, it goes up to a pretty decent angle. And you have your simulated stairs on the front. Not sure how I feel about this. I think it probably would have turned out better if it just had if it just had one rear axle, 2 total axles instead of 3 total axles. But it gives that truck like a fantasy look, or even an older Terex or Euclid look back when they had 6-wheelers. Back way before I was even thought of. This was last year's addition to the INC fleet. This is the cement mixer. Again with a cab over design, which would lead you to believe it's influenced by a European style truck. Lots of detail actually, such as the chute, the spray off water hose, the stairs in gray, done in plastic. The drum rotates, that's in plastic. The blue part again, die-cast metal, yellow and gray or silver plastic. Nice job on that one. Here is way too oversized if you wanted to start talking about scales, which is something you typically never do with Matchbox or Hot Wheels. But this is the, what did they end up calling this? Drill digger? Essentially, it's a skid steer with an auger attachment. And by using this right here and turning it, the auger moves. So a cool little toy for the kids. They can have a working, construction toy that actually does something for $1. Goes up to about there, but it won't hold the pose. And here's your movement of your auger. So to show you just how ridiculously off-scale this is, so let's say this is a scraper, which it is a scraper. That was a dumb statement. Let's say that's a medium-sized scraper. Excuse me. Good Lord. There's what the skid steer looks next to it. It's ridiculous. Obviously, that's nowhere close. But while we're on the subject of the scraper, there she is. Yellow is plastic, black is plastic, blue is die-cast metal. Does turn very slightly to each degree, each side. No movement of the scraper bowl, wherein it does not go up or down, and there's no movement of the ejector blade forward or backwards. But still one of my favorites, because as you've seen so far, now we're starting to get towards realistic looking machines. And you can place your bets on which manufacturer this one is very heavily based off of. If you look at blueprints on the internet, and you closely examine this, especially around the front fascia, the rear, and even to the side, you can almost directly point out the model, not only the name and the company, but the actual model number that they used as inspiration for this casting. Next up, we have a wheeled excavator. No working stabilizers. Bucket doesn't curl in. It just goes up and down. That's all. Again, this doesn't curl in or out. And you have your, you can't see it with my hand in the way, but you have 360 degrees of motion. Bucket on the front doesn't come down for added stability, it's just there for looks. This is one of the heavier ones, so it will roll anywhere. You could have a completely flat surface with countermeasures to make sure that it is indeed flat, and it will still manage to take off. Alright, so we got a handful left here. This is a mobile crane. Sounded for a second there like I was from my friends across the big pond. It's not a mobile crane, it's a mobile crane. Blue is metal, yellow is plastic. Although modeled in the casting, stop rolling, patience is getting tested. I feel like I'm in a doctor's office with 3 screaming children, because I just was. Anyway, the stabilizers are modeled, but they don't function. The only working feature on this is the boom, goes up and down. There's no telescopic sections of the crane. The winch line doesn't come down. It doesn't rotate. It doesn't do anything. But if you have it in the background of a job site, or maybe even as a load, consider, guys, that most of you guys that are watching my channel are watching this for scale models. You're not watching this for Matchbox and Hot Wheels, so please take that into consideration before posting rude comments, because there are people that love to collect, adult collectors, I know many of them, who do love to collect Matchbox and Hot Wheels and have done since their infancy. So to each their own. Everybody's into a little bit something different. There's nothing wrong with Matchbox or Hot Wheels. It's just not really my thing anymore. Not my preference. So here's a load lifter, which is a telescopic handler, which doesn't telescope. Goes up to that high. You can angle if you want to bend the plastic a little bit so that the load stays level like that, but it's not really meant to. And if you have something on there and you want to irritate your girlfriend or something, you can do this, boom, and hit the back and it'll go flying. Not saying I've done that or would recommend it, I'm just saying you could. Okay, I've done that once. She didn't think it was funny as I did. Anyway. Groundpounder, based off a snow grader. You have your plow in the front, your standard grader blade in the middle of it, plastic cab, blue metal, and the blades are silver or gray plastic. Not too bad looking. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Load Lifter, the one I just showed you prior to this one was also a 5-pack exclusive, just like the six-wheel dump truck. Two more, ladies and gents. Here we have a road roller, which, if we all want to get really technical, and we do on this channel, this is a smooth drum vibratory compactor. It's not a steamroller. You wouldn't even use this behind a road paver. This is used to compound the land in preparation for paving operations. So after the dozers and graders and scrapers have leveled everything out, compactors, both smooth drum and pad foot, would come in and make sure the land is nice and solid and ready for the mat to be laid. So it is not a steamroller. It's not even a roller. It's a compactor. I'm sure that will start an argument of comments as well. And last, but certainly not least, the other of the two you may remember. What are we up to now? Almost 20 minutes. 20 minutes ago I said of all of these, there's only two that have been directly licensed. The first was the Euro-style truck, which you can hook trailers to. And the other one is the lovely International CXT, which is actually a nice casting. I love this truck. Yellow and gray again are plastic. Blue INC. Cab and everything is metal. They did a really good job. I like the yellow tires on this. Yellow wheels, not yellow tires. Looks nice. And it also has a trailer hitch, so if you wanted to haul a small utility trailer or something behind it, you have that option too. So, there it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. The couple handfuls of you that requested it. It's something I enjoy collecting. I think, maybe if you have a little son or even a daughter, this would be a good collection to get them started on, just because it's extremely affordable. And by the time they're old enough, you can say, hey, Daddy collected all of these for you. And I don't know. I just think it would kind of be cool. It's very affordable. Again, this is the newest one, the MBX Excavator, based on the Great All. This is a 2018 release. And as far as recommendations for if they have to be recent Matchbox castings to be included in this, I would love to see the tree spade that came out last year. that's almost a dead giveaway as something that should be in here. And also, there's been a recent wheel loader made that looks an awful like that. This would be a nice INC model too. Again, if they have to be Matchbox originals, if they can't be licensed vehicles, those would be a couple I would choose. So if you guys have any questions, or maybe you have a Matchbox casting from the last 10 or so years that you would like seen in this collection, please let me know. As always, I appreciate your thoughts and value you watching my videos. Take care, be safe. We've got a lot of interesting stuff going on, and hopefully next week I'll have something excited to tell you guys about, and hopefully next week I'll be feeling a lot better and getting back to some semblance of normality, but we shall see. I've about had enough of outpatient procedures and ER visits for the year. So don't worry about me. I'm just fine. You guys take care. Be safe. We'll see you in the next video. Bye now.